Hi, um, my name's Anne Clancy. I'm a yoga teacher and I'm going to record some classes to introduce you or to maybe get you back into some yoga exercise. Yoga is the union of your mind, body, and breath, so it's slightly more holistic than your normal yoga class. Really trying to learn about your body when we practice, learn about your breath because your breath is so important, and also trying to switch off the busy mind, which yoga can really help with. I am going to focus on this class of 12 asanas, as we call them, which are exercises, poses. You can call them that. We tend to call them asanas in yoga. So if I say asana, it means exercise or pose. So we're going to do 12. I'm going to demonstrate them all in this class and then break them down in the next 3 classes. Okay. So the poses I show you today are the ones that we're going to try and work towards. So I'm not expecting anybody to practice these straight off. These are where we're going to try and focus on in the future that we might be able to get to if we keep practicing the gentle versions that I will give you in the following classes. So normally when I start a normal class, we sit and we just bring the awareness inside. Now I know sitting is not always easy for everybody. Not easy to sit like this, but you can always sit with the legs out or you can sit on your knees. This is called hero's pose. If you find sitting difficult, you can have a block, you can have a chunky book, or even a cushion, and you can pop that underneath your bottom, sit on the edge. If you sit on the edge, it really straightens your spine up and back, makes it a little bit easier because it just tilts the hips forwards, or you can extend through the legs. Kind of stops you. You don't really want to slouch. We want to sit as straight as possible. When you notice sitting in this position, you'll feel you engage your stomach muscles a little bit more. So you begin to gently work the core. Okay, so also we will be doing hamstring stretches, and for that we use a belt. If you haven't got a belt, you can use a scarf. I sometimes use a scarf and sometimes even use a jumper. Because what we'll do with this one, we are going to hook it around the foot and straighten the leg. You can use a dressing gown cord. There's lots of options if you don't have a yoga belt. Okay. So a cushion, block, big book, scarf, piece of clothing, something that you can use to keep the legs straight and bring a little bit of tension. Okay. So this is your introduction. In yoga, we tend to breathe in through the nose, out through the nose, unless I direct you otherwise. The breathing is called pranayama. And there's lots of different breathing exercises, but for these classes, we're just going to breathe in through the nose, out through the nose, unless I direct you otherwise. So I will now demonstrate our 12 poses. As I say, I'm not expecting you to do these full poses. We're going to gradually work up to them in the following classes, okay? But this is what we are working towards, okay? So the first pose is our head to knee. Quite simple. You're going to be lying on your back on the mat. And we stretch back, breathe in. As you exhale, I bring in my right knee in. We clasp the hands either around the shin or behind the thigh, and we lift forehead to knee, okay? So you're really squishing through the abdomen. You actually work on your ascending, your descending colon. This is actually called a wind relieving pose, which is, it will make sense. Breathe in, stretch back. And then we exhale, left knee in, and we lift up. Okay, so that is pose number 1. Okay, we will be doing different versions and probably start off sitting on a chair when you draw the knee towards your chest. So the next one is a supine twist, which supine means lying on your back. This is a nice stretch for the lower back. So I'll just show you this one. We normally do this one towards the end of a class. Okay, so you lie down, your feet in towards your bottom, feet and knees together, your arms out at shoulder height, your palms up if you want. And we let the knees fall to one side, so the knees and feet together. And then we turn the head to the opposite side. Breathe into center. And then exhale, knees to the left and my head to the right. So you get a nice stretch here, you might feel it in the hips. And we tend to hold that one. And we breathe in to center. Okay, so that's pose number 2. The next one is core work. So when we do the core work, we have to really pull our belly button in. Imagine you're sucking your belly button in, okay? Always being mindful if you have any issues with your lower back with this one, because it can cause a lot of strain with that one. So you always have to be honest with how strong your core is feeling. So I'm going to show you this one. So we're going to take the knees in to chest, push the heels away, and you keep the head, neck, and shoulders on the mat, and we take the arms up. Chin is in. Try not to bring tension to the face by screwing the face up. And you just hold here, really pulling the belly button in. If you want to go a little bit stronger, we slowly lower the hands and the feet towards the mat. So all working the core here as we come down. Now, if you can't come down like I have, you hold here. You just slowly come down a little bit and then bring the knees into chest. Okay, so that's quite a strong one. And then the next one is our hamstring stretch. So this is where we need our dressing gown cord, scarf, anything like that. We want it pretty long. I've used jumpers in the past, sweatshirts, long sleeve t-shirts, where you hook the t-shirt around and you use the arms of the long sleeve t-shirt. Okay. So with this one, you're on your back again. We can do this in a chair. We'll start off in a chair. The knee is in. Loop the belt, the scarf, whatever you have around, and we just gently draw the leg in towards us. Then for an extra stretch, we straighten the opposite leg out, and then we can do a nice hip opener where we open the leg to the side. So you've still got a bit of tension in this belt. You bring it back to center, you bend the knee, and we lower the leg. And then we always repeat on the opposite side. Always doing left side and right side, left side, because we want to bring balance to the body. And when you practice, especially comparing one side to the other, you'll really notice how unsymmetrical your body is. Strength on one side, completely different from the other, also flexibility. And, you know, the comfort, you know, it can feel really difficult on one side. And it's the same for me as anybody. But hopefully with doing the practice or yoga practice on both sides, we can bring balance and harmony to your body. So our 5th pose is our gate pose. This one you might feel it on the knees when we get to this one, but we will do versions using a chair. Great hip opener. So I'm just going to do it on one side. So this is what we are aiming to get to, not expecting this as you start off. So my right leg is out. You can always have extra padding underneath. You can put a cushion, you can fold your mat over if you're feeling on the knees. I know a lot of people do. You turn your foot out so you get a stretch of the foot. My right leg is out, my right arm is on my right leg, on my hand is. And I reach up with the left. Take a deep breath in and exhale, slide down. So trying to keep the shoulder back, trying not to come forwards, rotating that shoulder back, try and keep that arm straight. Maybe we come out here, so you'll feel that working in the core. You come up and exhale, and then we would do that one on the opposite side. So our 6th pose is our cat pose. Lovely stretch of the spine. So you want knees underneath hips. Again, you can always have some padding underneath your knees by rolling the mat over. And then your hands are flat. Hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath. For this one, it's a beautiful stretch of the spine. I always include it in all my classes. You breathe, sit the tailbone out. So imagine you have a dip in the spine. Imagine pushing your belly towards the mat. Keeping your arms still and straight so you don't move the arms. You lift the chin. Gentle stretch through the throat here. Maybe feel it in the chest. Exhale, tuck your bottom under. Arch that back. So then you move with your breath. You breathe in. Again, that dip in the spine if you can here. Lift the chin, look up. Exhale. And we will start off doing this one seated, because you can do a seated version. Breathing in. And then we breathe out. And then we come to our neutral hand. So we're getting a little bit more dynamic now, using a little bit more energy. So we come to downward facing dog. Okay, I'm not going to use any of the Indian, the Sanskrit names. We're just going to keep it nice and simple. You bring your hands forward. So you want a wide base here. Hands are still roughly shoulder width apart. Okay. Feet hip width apart. You turn your toes under. Breathe in and exhale. Now we can do this one on a chair as well. We use a chair to hold on to, or we can do this against a wall. We'll learn to practice this one on the wall. And we hold here. So your legs are straight, the spine is straight. You want your shoulders wide. You want the head relaxed here. So you don't want the head up here. We want that head relaxed. Holding, and then we bring the knees down. Now we're going to come up to a standing pose, a warrior pose. Okay, there's a few warriors. We are going to do warrior one. Okay, so you're up on your feet, coming up, and then we are going to take ourselves into the center of the mat and take the legs really wide. Again, you want a really nice wide base, because when we turn the foot out and bend the knee, we want that knee directly over the ankle. We don't really want the knee extending beyond. We want it over the ankle. So you do need your feet out pretty wide. Okay. So I'm going to do it on my right hand side. I turn my right foot out, turn my left foot in slightly, push away with the heel. Not turning towards this right leg. We are facing forwards here, so lateral, same way as your mat. Your arms are out. I've got my palms down. You can have the palms up. I'm going to look towards my right hand, take a breath in, and then exhale, bend that knee. You want that nice right angle bend in the knee. This back leg is straight. So you want to push into the outside edge of that foot. Arms extended, look towards that hand, and we hold here. Okay. So that is warrior two, sorry. It's warrior two. I said warrior one, but it's warrior two, sorry. Straighten that leg. And we would do that on both sides. Okay. So, turning the foot back. And we're going to walk your feet in. Because balancing is really important as well. And when we do the balancing in yoga, we're going to do a classic tree balance. It is easier to balance on a kind of hard surface, like a wooden floor, like I've got. So you can practice on the mat. But it tends to be a little bit more difficult on a squishy, soft surface. So you would prefer to have a flat wooden floor, anything like that, if possible. So I'm just going to do it on one side. So I'm going to take my right toes out to the side. So you're going to get a bit of a hip opening. Toes are on the floor. My hands are to my heart center. Now you can practice here with the toes on the mat or the floor. Or coming to the balance, you can lift that foot off to the calf. Try and avoid placing on the knee or place it all the way up. And then we raise the arms with the palms together or apart and hold here. Now you can practice the balance with the wall for support if that helps, always helps. So that might help, using the wall. You can always just take the back away from the wall. Hands together, slowly come down and lower that leg, and then of course you would repeat on the opposite side. And our number 10 pose is our bridge pose, where we are on the mat again. So again, we will do most of these poses starting off in a chair, gradually working to them. and then we'll gradually progress. Okay, so coming onto the mat on your back. So again, your feet are hip width apart. So we're really going to lift up the hips, and you'll probably feel it in the legs. Okay, so you're down on your mat, palms down, chin in. Try and bring the feet in as close as you can to your bottom. Everything parallel, so your feet facing forwards. When we lift the hips, we don't want the knees to come wide, we want the knees to come forward. So you should feel that in the quadriceps. And then we breathe in, we lift the hips high, holding, and then just carefully lower that back down. That is our bridge pose. And then getting a little bit harder inversions. So we can do easy versions of inversions, which we will do to start off with. I'm not expecting you to go straight into anything like a half shoulder stand, but I'll just show you. This is what we're going to be working towards. So we come down, rock the knees in, take the legs up, and our bottom is resting in our hands with our elbows on the mat here. So this is a half shoulder stand. Okay? Bring the knees in, and when you come out of these, you gently roll down. But an easy version that we're going to do is just sitting by a wall with the legs up the wall. Okay, that's still an easy version. And then for our last pose, we sit and we do full yogic breathing. So that is breathing into your belly, breathing into the ribs, and then breathing into the top lobes of the lungs, which is up here. So we really try and learn to use your full lung capacity. So these are the 12 exercises that we're going to be focused on. As I say, this, what I just demonstrated, is what we're going to be working towards. And the next few classes will be 4 exercises in each, and we'll gradually work first using a chair. Okay, so hopefully that's inspired you to get back into exercise or to try some yoga if you've never tried it before. And just practice and don't be too hard on yourself. So you can ease yourself into this, okay? So thank you.